Washington, D.C. via Zurich, which I know that's a long way around, but there was a fantastic award flight available. It was only 100,000 points to get all the way to Washington in business class on Swiss Air, so I jumped on that bomb, as it were. Certainly far less expensive than any of the other award options, but it turns out that even though my flight's at 11, we are not actually boarding until, we are not actually boarding until 10:40, and it's now 10:20, and I showed up at the time you would normally board at. So I thought I would just do a little live stream and share some fascinating information with you this morning. So we're just walking around the airport right now, Incheon. We're at one of the piers. Incheon, I have to say, is one of my favorite airports worldwide. Because it's just gorgeous. So I'm going to actually rotate the camera so you can see where we're going. Definitely not what I wanted. Okay, fantastic. Good morning and welcome to my live stream, live from Incheon Airport. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I will just go ahead and make sure I can actually see the comments. And yeah, so I am preparing to fly out this morning from Incheon International Airport. My flight is not boarding for 20 minutes, much later than I was expecting. So I thought I would share some things with everyone this morning. And as always, if you have questions, pop them in the live stream. What on earth is... Oh, shit. Definitely don't do that. Cancel the green screen. Where's the chat? Okay. I don't know where my chat is. All messages. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. So just walking around Incheon this morning, and of course a loud cart of pulling little mini luggage carts comes along. Incheon really is one of my favorite airports because of the beautiful amenities that it has for passengers, no matter whether they have lots of money for lounge access or not. Good morning and welcome to Incheon International Airport. I am preparing to fly out on Swiss Air business class, and I have about 20 minutes, so I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the interesting things I've experienced this morning. Specifically, I finally got access to the Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer lounge, and I can tell you, oh my god, what an amazing lounge. It is far superior to any of the other lounges, including Korean Air, here at Incheon International Airport. Good morning, Mohammed. This is Incheon. Welcome to Seoul. Well, welcome to a satellite of Seoul. And yeah, so if you can get access to the KrisFlyer lounge at Incheon, highly recommend it. But don't worry, even if you don't have lounge access, there are plenty of wonderful things to do here at Incheon International Airport, including traditional Korean cultural experiences and live performances of historical Korean music and dance and song. So we're going to head towards that traditional Korean cultural experience. I'm going to hopefully give you a taste of what it's like. But, you know, even if you can't access the lounges, plural here, there aren't actually that many relative to the size of the airport, but still plenty to do and see. You can see Terminal 1 is in full bloom, as it were, thriving with people. Are you near? Are you here at Incheon Airport as well? Yep, I'm in Terminal 1 right now, just wandering down the central pier. And of course, you know, shopping is a thing. Airports have basically become malls where planes park. But, you know, that's kind of the way it goes these days. But, you know, if these stores can fund these beautiful public spaces that airports like Incheon have, then I'm fine with it. American airports could really learn a lesson from the way Asian airlines in general or Asian airports are set up. Yeah, so we're heading towards the Korean traditional cultural experience. Korean airports, and I mean all of them, have an area where you can do hands-on activities and learn about and experience Korean culture. And yes, they are still performing. So I can show you the kinds of beauty that Incheon actually offers. If you guys have any questions or you want to see something specific, just let me know. One of my favorite things about Korea, how proud they are of their culture and how they share it freely. So I thought we'd move on. So if you ever transfer through internet through Incheon, there's actually a transfer lounge that is completely free up there where you see rest and relax. There are accessible showers and areas to sleep and eat and sit. So you don't need to have access to, say, for instance, the Asiane Lounge, which is up there. You can still have a comfortable experience. In fact, there was once a refugee family from Africa who couldn't make it through immigration, and they lived up there, exactly where you're looking now, for about 9 months until their asylum case was finally heard. Looks like Japanese geisha. Yeah, I mean, there are certainly similarities, Mohammed, between the way that the fashions, historical and traditional fashions of Japan and Korea. But if you were actually to put them side by side, you'd probably see some pretty big differences. But I can understand how to the casual observer it would look like that. Yeah, I personally love hanbok, as it's called, traditional Korean clothing. I'll just turn the screen around. Yeah, see, as you can see, sorry, I really love hanbok. Yeah. Back to the airport, not on me. Yeah, so I'm excited to be flying on Swiss Air today in their business class. They actually also have a first class on this plane, and I just casually made inquiries as to how much a first class upgrade would cost, and it was like $2,000 just for the leg to Zurich, not to the rest of the way to. Not bus experience would be that much better. And it would, then the business class experience would be, at least not to me. Not for my value for money. I don't know. $2,000 for an upgrade from business class to first class, is that worth it to you guys? Not to me. Anyway, so the other travel tip I want to give you all at any airport, no matter where you go, here's one of the priority pass lounges, the Matina Lounge. It does not seem to have a line today, which is unusual, although the line could be invisible and upstairs. Anyway, one of the big travel tips I wanted to give you all today was that if you are at an airport and there are multiple security lines, go take a look at all of the security lines before picking one, because the line at one may be epically long, you know, Disney World at spring break, while the lines at the other ones might in fact be much shorter. So today, the lines at Terminal Point, or the security lines at 3, I'm going to walk away from the cigarette lounge. Yeah. The lines at security point 3 were Disney World at spring break epic, while there were no lines at all at security point 2. So it's worth it to take a few extra minutes, walk around, scope out the security situation, and then pick the shortest of the lines. Because I'm pretty certain the people at security point 3 are still waiting in line, whereas I got through mine in 10 minutes. And that was mostly because I left medieval needle cases in my suitcase, and those looked like bullets on the x-ray. And so, of course, they had to unpack my entire suitcase because, of course, the needle cases were under everything. Anyway, first world problems. Yeah, Mohammed, I agree. 2,000 is just not worth that kind of upgrade. Maybe, and I mean, this is a hard maybe. Maybe if I had an economy class ticket and I was getting bumped all the way up to first class, but you know, on top of the business class ticket, definitely not. And even then, 2,000 is a lot for a 10-hour flight. It's just, yeah. Business class has a lovely lie flat seat. It has lovely food. It has lovely service. I just, you know, but everyone has a different idea of value for money. Yeah, so we actually spent last night in the Capsule Hotel, which there are 2 here. There's one in Terminal 1, one in Terminal 2. The Capsule Hotel in Terminal 1 books out a month or more in advance. So if you want to take advantage of inexpensive lodgings the night before a flight here in Seoul, you have to book Terminal 1 capsule hotel at least a month out. Terminal 2, though, is almost empty compared to Terminal 1. There was hardly anyone there. And the Terminal 2 capsule hotel had availability. So that's another travel tip if you're flying out of Incheon and you need to come the night before for your flight. Capsule hotel for the win. It was only $60 and it's right inside the terminal, but you do have to book it in advance. Terminal 2, though, always has availability almost. So check both Terminal 1 and Terminal 2 if you're going to book. And for those who don't know what a capsule hotel is, what it means is you've got a really small room, which I guess in Japan would be a normal sized room. But every capsule hotel has a kind of different idea of what capsule means. So here at Incheon, the capsule rooms are actually not really capsule, they're rooms, they're nice. They're small, but they're room-like. Whereas I'm going to be overnighting in Zurich, where I will be in a proper capsule hotel where it's basically like a bunk bed that has its own little doors. So stay tuned for that. I will be live streaming from Zurich as well in about 12 or 13 hours, I guess. We'll see how awake or not I am given the jet lag. Now, one of the things I love about Korean airports, all of them, is they have these fantastic traditional Korean restaurants that cost really nothing. I mean, so the soup, the traditional beef soup over there, the Korean beef soup, it's like 8,800 won for a pretty big bowl of beef soup that comes with all the little banchan, and that's like $6.50. Where in America can you get something that cheap, that good quality with fresh ingredients at an airport? You just can't. So yeah, I've actually been finding some pretty interesting and good deals on award flights for those who are into that kind of thing, the points and miles game. But I've also been finding some shit deals. The airlines have been really downgrading their award charts, so it's just not as beneficial as it used to be. You don't get the same value for your points that you used to. Of course, cosmetics are a massive industry here in Korea, and a lot of Koreans who fly into or out of Incheon hit the duty free pretty hard because they feel it's a better deal than buying the same things in Korea, because a lot of the imported items then therefore don't get import tariffs. So they end up saving money versus buying it at the regular store. At least they think they do. I'm not certain that's true. I've never compared the prices. But you know, they've got all the haute couture designers here, or the high-end designers and haute couture, so Coach is kind of high-end. There's also a Chanel store and a Mulberry store. Mulberry store. I'm personally not into the whole shopping thing. I prefer to buy a few handmade items rather than overpay for designer labels whose clothes are still made by slave labor and somewhere in Asia. Not Korea, by the way. So let's just go into the Korean Traditional Cultural Center. I just want to show you some of the beautiful art and handcrafts that they have in here. And you can even, like for instance, you can even play traditional Korean games. They've got hands-on crafts. So a lot of these items are, you know, handmade by artisans. And in some cases, they're either reproductions of or inspired by historical Korean pieces. I have quite a large collection of such items at home. I'm a sucker for historic pottery. So this is Goryeo era, so medieval Korea, so like 12th through 14th century. This is mother of pearl inlay. It's called chage, lacquerware with mother of pearl inlay. So technique called chage. You know, it looks like plastic. It's not. Brassware, God, I so want brassware. Brassware, as you can see, is their equivalent of fine bone china in terms of what we would consider expensive in the West. But isn't that gorgeous? Oh, handmade. I so want spun brassware. Oh. Hand-turned wine and wine cups. So that's what a wine flask and a wine cup looks like in traditional Korean style. Very different from the Western style. Look at those beautiful teacups. Oh, so beautiful. Yeah. There's just so much beauty here. All of these handmade items. I actually do have some ceramics made with the gold paint interior at home. Made almost in exactly that style, actually. Bought them at a handcraft fair in Daegu. Yeah, if you're gonna get souvenirs from a place, I always recommend to get one nice handmade thing instead of a bunch of cheap plastic tchotchke that was, again, made by slave labor, probably in some poor country. These are all handmade items by artisans. You can actually go to their workshop here and see them doing the work. So, you know, you pay a commensurate price, but you get a lot more out of it. Okay, well, not everything is necessarily handmade, but it's made in Korea if it's in this store. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, well, I think... Sorry, my hand thing is my gimbal is not wanting to play this morning. Oh my goodness. Hat really highlights the circles under my eyes. It's okay. So everyone, thank you for joining me. If you have joined me this morning, this was just kind of a quick run through Incheon International Airport, and I'm about to go board my flight now on Swiss Air. So everyone, I hope to see you on the other side. Thank you for joining, Mohammed. Appreciate it. Bye everyone. Safe travels.